Michelle. Hello.
Yes, this is Charles East.
Hi, Mr. East. How you doing?
All right, pretty good. Who's this?
Glenda. This is Glenda, the past chair.
Oh, hi, Linda. How are you?
Okay, I'm good. I'm glad you decided to call in. I'm trying to get everybody else in now because they should have been
Okay,
starting to
I'm here.
join. Okay, hold
Okay,
on. Okay, hold on a second. I'll be back in a second.
okay.
I'm talking and I'm mute. Hi, Dorothy. How you doing?
Okay.
Okay. How's Willard?
He's not doing too good.
Oh, oh boy. Okay. Oh, so you got this phone? They gonna call you, right? Yeah. I got it up. I got it up loud so it can ring loud. Yeah. Well, just hold on. Greg she'll be signing in a few minutes. And then
Okay.
some people are just starting to come in from work like I did. And the train was crazy. It was like very slow. So I don't know. Yeah. Oh, I should have this part on because the microphone is on this side. I have my headphone on. Okay. Let me see if I can get to Marva. I don't have Jerry's number. I can email her though. Marva. Maybe I have it under Brown. It's Henry Brown. Okay. Okay, Marva Brown. Okay. Hi, Greg. Marva's getting ready to sign in also.
Okay.
Do you have Greg? You don't have Jerry's phone number, right? Greg? Oh, he may be still trying to come on. He's on mute. Okay, I'll just have to email her. We're gonna start in about 2 minutes, okay? Okay. Search for Adhoc. Okay, that's Marva. Hey, Marv.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Okay,
I'm
we're gonna
Alva.
get ready. Okay. Okay. Let me just send this out to everybody. Okay. All right. Greg. Hello, Greg. Greg, you're on mute.
Mute. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
WebEx is the reverse of Zoom muting.
Okay.
Backwards. Yeah.
Okay, Greg, can you bring up the letter that you wrote? You know that we did to
Let me see.
Okay, I'm going to get my notebook. Go ahead. Jesus.
I'm trying to find the original letter here. This is so old. All right, here it is. All right, you want me to read it, or I could send it, or whatever? Kind of a long letter, actually.
You found it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Could cut it, put it in the chat. I don't know. I mean, that's.
You can share it. You can share it.
I can share it, but I got to get it up on my. Oh man.
Okay.
Got to get it up.
Okay.
I have to do it on my phone. I gotta find it on my. All right.
Okay.
Here it is. Now, how do I share my screen?
It says at the bottom says share.
I got to get back to WebEx.
Okay.
And then, it's not it. Where is it? Here it is, maybe. This is it now. Oh, here it is. Okay. Share. Okay. Share. All right.
Okay, we see it.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
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 La la la.
So this special meeting, because we call this meeting because we don't want to take too much time doing our general meeting concentrating on this. So we thought it would be better to, kind of talk this out, discuss this particular issue in a separate meeting. Okay. Now there was the letter that was drawn up was kind of feedback on piggyback on what Jerry sent us about the complaints at St. Mark's Playground, a dire need for upgrade on the equipment for the children, and maybe some type of configuration or something about how the children and the adults are, um, how they are laid out, how they are sitting around in the area. There were a lot of undesirable things going on, especially in the evening time, in the park. And so, that's something that, what, I just thought about it. We need to talk to Mark Thurton with the public safety part on that too, to kind of like find out what's going on in the evening time. But in the meantime, we it's very important for us to get this letter out to the New York City parks and our elected officials to see if they can come up with a capital project type of thing to upgrade the equipment, clean up the area, and maintain it in a better form. Um, I guess we'll open the floor for discussion. I don't know if everybody got a chance to read the letter. Do you want to just kind of like go through each part of it and just kind of dissect it a little bit? What do you feel? What you want to do?
I think the latter would be better.
Go through each part of it, and then we can just see what we
Yes.
need to. Okay, all right. So let's start from the beginning. Greg, can you bring it all the way to the top?
Yeah.
Okay. So we got the date, and then we say, "Dear Parks Department representative." We'll put probably who took over. You said they don't have another commissioner for Silver left, right?
Yeah. Silver left quite a while ago.
Okay, so it's probably going to be Kavanaugh. Um, he's the next person in charge. So, and they're taking a long time to replace people. So I know because I work for the city, it's a lot. It's a long line to hire new people right now. Um, so we'll thinking it's going to be Kavanaugh, but I'll look into that to make sure. As we as the Parks Committee of Community Board 8 would like to express our concern about the conditions of the park and playground on St. Mark's Avenue between uh, Kingston and Albany in Brooklyn. Okay, I think that part is good. It's just just an introduction. Okay, specifically, we have been approached by the Block Association with the following requests and questions: brighter lights, gates for playground and park, more greenery, cleanup schedule, rat abatement, more children play equipment, fewer benches. Now I know we had some discussion about the fewer benches. So with that list, do we have any questions about the list, or do we want to take something off the list, or do we want to add anything? I don't know. Is Jerry on the line? I know somebody just came on.
Yes, that's me. I
Oh,
just came on.
Jerry. Okay. Hi, Jerry.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm
Okay.
doing all right. How's everybody else doing?
Okay, Jerry. She's the main person we need
Good.
to have here because she knows the park. She's the person that's in charge of that area. So, Jerry, when
Yes.
there were some questions about the fewer benches, about that the residents should have the ability to sit in the area as well as the children. So with the few benches, that was a little just questions about putting that on the list. Okay, so what are your feelings with it? So why you say fewer benches?
Okay, so why I say that is that um, the majority of the time it is overwhelmingly about 70% of adults in there and very few children because they have chess tables, they have so much seating, and then there's only one piece of play equipment in there, which is the slide and where there's some gardening that we would do every spring. But it is more often than not a place for adults to hang out, smoke, and drink and play their music until well after midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning in the summer. And that's really, in my interpretation, that is not a playground.
Okay, all right. So you don't see the children don't use the equipment at all. You see them a little bit, right? Do they use the
Well, the
equipment?
thing is, a lot of parents don't feel comfortable having their children in there.
Okay, because of the adults. Okay.
Right, because they're consuming alcohol, they're smoking weed, they're gambling. Yeah, it's not really conducive. And you should be able to on this block. It's right downstairs to just send your kids outside and have
Yes,
them go play. But a lot of families don't feel comfortable doing that.
I see.
Uh,
Okay.
Question, Jerry, are the people that are the adults that are at these tables, are they people you recognize from the block, or do you have any idea
Yes,
where they're from?
most
They
of
take a
them are
while.
from the block. Yes, most of them are from the block. Some people, I was told recently, are commuting in from New Jersey because they have nothing else to do and they come hang out with their friends every day.
Oh wow.
Yes, so it is a social club, not a playground at this point. And last year was really, really a tough year for all of these types of activities. We
Which
had shootings in the playground. I've lived here for 10 years, and I'd say that there's been at least 3 shootings in the time that I've lived on this block.
Wow.
is
And how
the
long?
precinct aware of what's going on
Oh,
there
yes.
at the park?
Yes, yes.
So why
I've
don't
worked
you
with the community.
did you
I've
request
worked with community
frequent
affairs
patrol?
officers. I'm sorry?
Did you request frequent patrols for the
Yes.
for the park?
Yes, I've worked with Officer Green when she was at the 77th precinct, and the 2 NCOs for Sector C, Mott, and I can't remember the other officer's name, but yes.
Okay. All right. And you said you have there was at least 3 shootings since you've been living there.
Yes.
Is it becoming more aggressive, more egregious, more um uh what I'm saying, more activities as we speak now, or it's just the same for the past couple of years?
Of course, with COVID, it was really bad.
Okay.
That first summer in 2020. Last
Okay.
year was, even with COVID, people decided that they were going to, usually happens in the summer, if someone decides they're going to have a birthday party, they do it in the playground. They have a DJ come and the music is blasting until 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh wow.
And even on a weeknight, I mean, I'm on the 5th floor and I have double pane windows, and that it just means nothing because it's a constant stream of noise and you can't sleep.
Oh wow. And have you called the
And
police? Or they don't respond?
oh yes, I'm very familiar with Detective Louis, Officer Green, and some other officers at Corey Mott, some other officers at the 7-7. And they do come by, but they're also short-staffed. And 2020 and 2021 was a very tough year for everyone. But yes, we on this block, we usually pray for winter so that we can have some quiet.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. So when we're talking about putting up fence, you're talking about putting up the fence just around the playground area or around the entire area that can be locked down at a certain time?
I think the entire area, most playgrounds in the city have a fence so that children can't run out
Right.
into the street. And what we have also is another element of people crossing between the two parking lots that are there.
Right.
So they will ride on the sidewalk and speed on the sidewalk to get a parking spot in the Albany lot or
Wow.
vice versa, Kingston lot.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And the part about the greenery, you want that up the side in front of the building? That's what you're talking about, right? Across in front of the building, they have more greenery there.
I think that where the two parking lots are, there's some. We used to plant daffodil bulbs we would get from New Yorkers for parks. We go to Prospect Park and get those bulbs, and every fall we would plant. But we have people who are not, they have their dogs come over there. They trample. There's no. I would love to see, and I've encouraged this in the years, to have people come in and from the neighborhood come together and we plant several weekends to do that. And I just see right now with everyone owning a dog. I mean, I have 2 dogs. I'm not saying that's a negative thing, but you have to be responsible as a dog owner, and I don't see that in this neighborhood. And that's part of the issue too. And with the trash and the rats, there's a lot going on, several variables going on right now. That is really tough because, there's a lot of garbage on the street. And it's no fault of the residents. I mean, we're just trying to control all of this. But I think some people have just sort of given up. And I have never, this is the worst I've seen Crown Heights. I lived here for 10 years. I lived on Park Place between Kingston and Albany for 7 years. This is the worst that I've seen at Crown Heights. Wow. And I would like to see, more pride and beautification in the neighborhood and just people helping each other and taking care of each other, because I think that's what we really need right now.
Okay. So let me ask you about the cleanup on the park. Do you actually physically see a Parks Department person go and actually clean the park?
I have to tell you that it was better, but in the last 9 to 10 months, and understandably so, it's gotten really bad. And I see sanitation. We have the building next to me that's further is on the west side. There's appliances out there. There's tons of garbage. I know people are moving, but I feel that the building owners or the management companies aren't doing their due diligence to keep things clean and tie up the garbage and put everything out so that it can be collected.
Yeah. It seems like it's so multiple problems. We have layers of problems there. Okay.
Yes. And I also think the Rat Academy is a great idea, and I would love to see that take off, because that's a big issue on Kingston as well. there's so many things going on, and I've been in this neighborhood for a while, and I really love where I'm at. And it's just I don't know what the solution is to try to get people to be more involved in making their block look better.
Right.
All right, Glenda.
Yes.
Glenda.
Yes.
Who is this letter addressing to? What's the name? Did you mention at the beginning?
Kavanaugh is the next. Well, the commissioner is gone. Silver for the Parks Department is gone.
Yes,
And the
yes,
next person
but each borough has a commissioner, and
yes.
the name of the commissioner for Brooklyn is Martin Meyer.
Martin.
M-A-R-T-I-N.
Yeah, I know Martin. Martin. Yes.
So that's who you should send the letter to, and if
You're
you want
right.
to copy the overall commissioner, fine.
Yes, Martin. Marty will get them.
Yeah, Marty. If you send it, you'll get a better response, quicker response too.
Exactly. What we're going to do is we're going to send a letter, then I'm going to follow up with a phone call because I speak to Marty a lot. Even when he was, before he was that level, he was always.
We were chief of staff.
He was always on top of things.
I can say this: he's the only official that I know who personally returns your call.
Yes, he does. He does.
Yeah,
he's very tangible.
Only official I know who does that.
Yes.
He
You're right.
personally returns your call.
Yes. So we're going to send a letter to Martin, and we'll send it to probably Kavanaugh, and we're going to send it to our elected official.
You can copy Kavanaugh on it. But,
I will. And then we'll send it to Ozzy, also the person in charge of this district. So are we in agreement with the list? Let's go back up, Greg, one more time. Let's go back to the top. Now, this list, everything. This list is everything that we want to address. Do we need to add anything, or this is what we want to say?
How about having more staff personnel from the Parks Department? Park attendants.
Yeah, well, I guess it goes along with the cleanup schedule, but we could say that's a dream. Yeah, that's a dream because everything is a shortage, so they're gonna say they don't have enough people.
If you don't ask for it, you're not gonna get it.
Yeah, I know.
You never know. You never know.
I liked Ms. Mahoney's suggestion about reconfiguring the benches, so it's like a designated kid area versus and separate and apart from an adult area.
Well, just to be clear, in the letter we say benches, but it's really the tables that seem to be
right.
I know if you look around parks, you very rarely see very rarely see tables.
So maybe we should say fewer.
And what 5-year-old is playing backgammon and in St. Mark's playground?
I don't know why
kids want to be out there and active.
It's a school.
Right. So how many tables do they have out there, Jerry?
I could actually look out my window right now and
I think that's like a New York City tradition to have the chess players in the park and things like that. Whether or not that's what it's actually being used for, I don't.
Yeah, but the proportion of it, because the park is so small over there with the children, there's probably a percentage of how much should be. Yeah, I think it's a little bit. Sometimes it could be a little bit too much for the adults as opposed to the part for the children. So we need to find out if there's a percentage of what square.
Y'all just don't want any adults in there. It's just.
That's not it. No, that's not it. And and I understand what she's saying. It's attracting the wrong amount of people because there's so many of those tables there. We're not saying that we should take all of them out, but we should have maybe less of that and more for the children. I agree with that. I
agree with updated playground equipment, all that. I can't tell from the pictures where on the other side it's like the red and blue hoop things. Is that supposed to be a water spray area?
Yeah, those are the spray showers, and that's only used between Memorial Day and Labor Day.
Right, and do they actually work?
They do, but that's a lot of real estate that's used just for
Yeah, but I'm
3 months
sure
of the
people
year.
appreciate it in the summer. No one uses it. I mean,
Well,
most
what they do
playgrounds,
is that the water's turned on and there's no kids out. Like the adults just turn it on, and then there's very few kids out there.
Well,
And
the
I
other
think
weird,
that part of it is the safety factor.
Yes.
If it was a more welcoming, safer space, you would see more people out there with
well,
their
the other
children.
thing is those spray areas separated from the other play area by everything else. So they're like
well, because you
separate.
can't have the ground wet where kids are running and up and down slides and things like that. So I'm sure that's why they separate the water spray from where kids are running on a jungle gym, because
Yeah.
that's not safe.
Mm.
So I'm sure that's part of the reason for the separation. I mean, obviously, if a city council member or someone dedicates money for capital improvements for reconfiguration of the playground, because that's what we're talking about, get money so that everything can be upgraded, they will have whatever the equivalent of a playground architect is to modernize the whole layout, the structures, make it safe for children, possibly cut the traffic that Ms. Buchanan is talking about going through to try and get parking, all that, and then also have a sitting area for people without children, right? So I think the proposal has to be something where, one, yes, regular maintenance and cleaning as it is, and if you want to include this letter to the police department and Parks Public Safety Committee and say we need regular patrols and people to come ticket if they're smoking and stuff like that, that's one thing. But really what it sounds like is we want a whole new configuration of this area, which is going to take years and millions of dollars to do.
Who is the council member?
And I would say Darlene Neely, right? She just got reelected. She's the one that gave the money to Brower Park in this area.
Right.
We have
So that's who gives the money.
Crystal Hudson. We have Chi Osei. I think Chi actually covers that area.
This is Chi. That's Chi.
Yeah,
Jose.
but I mean, they all have a say. And Ms. Buchanan, if you represent an official recognized block association, I know there is a funding. I forget what it's called. There's an application out now for discretionary funds through city council. So you should apply for that, representing the block. So, at least people know that that's on the radar, that we want to upgrade to this playground.
Yes. And then June 30th is the cutoff for the budget. It has to be in, any request for funding has to be in by June 30th.
Well, there you go. June 30th to get the application in.
And we also need to send.
We should send the letter as well now, as soon as possible.
Yeah, because one thing we do, you have to crawl before you walk. It may take some years to get everything that you want, but we have to start from here to get this ball rolling. Now, another person you need to include on this letter is the mayor. Not the mayor, the borough president. I'm not saying the mayor, the Brooklyn borough president. Also, because sometimes they will chip in and help with that funds, with their funds that they have also to help with the park. Yes. So we got to hit everybody.
And his new deputy borough president is Diana Richardson, who represented our area, right? So
Diana Richardson's deputy?
Yeah, she's deputy borough president now.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know that.
So she has
I think though the key person for funding is the council member.
Yeah,
the key person to get the funding is the council member.
It's a common member, but sometimes, as I said, they have done it in Lincoln Terrace Park. They have done it at St. John, where the borough president has put some funds to help with the equipment too. So we got to hit every part of every section.
Lincoln Terrace is beautiful, and you don't just hit up your council member, because people from other surrounding council districts come use these parks as well. So they all have an interest in creating nice, safe spaces.
Yes. Right. So we do Darlene Mealy, and we'll do the other people in the area, surrounding areas to
I met with them on Tuesday.
Yes. Okay. All
And
right.
they're at
So
400,
This is
400 Rockaway.
Dorothy. Can I say something?
yes, Dorothy.
I was under the impression that when that area was created called a super block, and it was designed and responsibility of the federal government, that they had the jurisdiction of that so-called super block that they established in the 50s. So has that changed, that it is all inclusive, a city um, property at this point? Or is it still under the
Yes, it
guidelines?
is actually shared space between parks and DOT, because 8 years ago, when I wanted the lights here upgraded, no one wanted to take responsibility. So it was a back and forth for months with parks and DOT, and finally they decided that they would work it out so that they could replace the lights along St. Mark's between Kingston and Albany. Because for
But
months we had no lights
okay.
in the middle of the block.
I think we need to research that because I recall that being mentioned at this meeting before the super
Yes.
block funding. And so is that still a thing? Is funding still in place for that? Do we need to send a letter to the federal government, right? If that's still a possibility, that's something that has to be researched.
Right. Yeah, I was getting ready to say that we have to research that because I've heard this, and Dorothy have said that, and Dorothy has been on this committee for a long time. Even the time I was joining, she was there too. So we need to do a research on that. I'm going to reach out to Michelle and see what we have on records when we had the super block upgraded. She may have some information also, and we need to reach out to the Parks Department. Now, Calvin, I can't remember his last name, but Calvin is reaching out to me now because he is in charge of our district, our Community Board 8 Parks Department, on the staff level. So he reached out to me and asked me what do I need. Just ask him any questions, and he will do some research on it. So I'm going to reach out to Calvin tomorrow and ask him that question and see if he can give us some more information about the history of the playground over there. Okay, so that's another one of the things I'm going to do. So I'll write it down. That I'll reach out to Calvin. All right. So let's go a little further from there. This is the list. So we're in agreement of the list, and just add on to add more staff people to attend. You wanted to add that, Mr. East?
Yes.
Okay. So
And
Greg.
also, I think the council members should be copied on the letter too.
What was the?
I mean, everybody's going to be on this list. We're going to have a whole list of people on this.
So you want to add who's going, who this is being sent to?
It's going to be sent to Martin. He's right. Send it to the Brooklyn Borough President. So that's Marty.
And then you copy everybody else.
Marty Marr. That's Marty Marr. We
Yes.
call him Marty, but his Martin Marr. And then we
Martin Maher. His name is Martin Maher.
Yes.
That's his correct name. Martin Maher.
Yes. I call him Marty, but that's
yes, they call him Marty.
Todd,
Hey,
Mr. Todd, I'll email
Yes.
you his contact information so you can put it on the letterhead.
Got it.
Okay, so the number 8, we're gonna put down assign more staff, park staff member to attend to the playground.
I'm going to say about 5 to 7 years ago, the Parks Department decided to make St. Mark's Playground a mobile site attached to Broward. So every day, the original plan was to have staff from Broward come over and clean up every day in St. Mark's. And that has, of course, fallen off because of COVID.
Okay.
But it's something that I think is really important because it's overlooked. And so, it's some days it's looking pretty rough.
So send the letter to Christina Paisano as well, who's like the local district manager. Because
Yes,
that's a
and
day-to-day issue that can be addressed very easily if they're
right.
aware.
Yes, and I text her when it's really bad out there. I'll send her a text and say, "Listen, this is what's going on. Can you please have them come over and straighten up?" And
Can I make a suggestion? Can I make a suggestion?
Go ahead, Mr. East.
I think we should break the whatever you need up. If it can be addressed, like Christina can address certain things, the commissioner doesn't need to get involved. So I think we should
haven't
separate
involved the commissioner in anything with parks manager. It's not been escalated to that level. When she first came over to take care of these districts, she called me, introduced herself. We had a meeting downstairs, and that was the arrangement that we made, that if there was an issue, that I wouldn't go through like filing a 311 complaint. I would just text her and say, "Listen, can you send people over today to straighten up St. Mark?"
Right. Okay. So I still think we need to put it on the list. Let the commissioner see it. Then he's going to trickle it down and say, "What's going on? What's going on with this?" I know Marty. He's going to say, "Let's look into this," and he's going to follow up with it because that's the way he works.
I think we have a combination of capital stuff, capital expenditure on operational operations, and the operations item, our list should be given to Christina.
Right. We can break it down more. We can break it down more for Christina. Yes.
Break it up. Because the commissioner shouldn't get for operations. I don't think the commissioner should be notified. Just speak to send it to Christina or the manager. That's what I do. I don't even go to Christina.
Mr. Charles, I've been Mr. East. I give him operational. I give him capital project. He gets everything from me. Okay, and then he'll trickle it down to the people that needs to work on this. So we need to still keep everything on his list. And then he will go to these people and say, "Take care of this, take care of this, take care of that." So the list needs to still be like there.
All right. If you want to do it that way, but I do mine different. I do mine a bit different.
Yeah. Okay.
People, the date on the letter needs to be changed. It's 2022, not 2021.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Can you send me a copy of the letter because I'm speaking to you on my phone?
Oh, okay.
Are you on the standard email list?
Yes, I gave Glenda my email. So I don't know if
the CE. Yeah, I'll send it to. I'll send it to him. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
All right. All right. Let's go down to the next area. So I think we're in agreement with this area over here.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next section. Okay. All right. The next section says the block association would like to know who is in charge of the cleaning in the park. Now, didn't we have that there? Are we going to say that in a separate sentence? That's on the list, right?
Yes, that's. I remember hearing that on the as part of the list. That's
we believe that the list update is to this park was about the upgrade. The last upgrade was 2003. Okay. It would appear from the video that the playground is only partially enclosed. Isn't the policy of parks to enclose playgrounds and allow adults with children inside? Is that true now? Because Silver was trying to have playgrounds with no what was this thing he was trying to do? Playground with no boundaries, with no boundaries or something. He was trying park. No, he was saying parks with no boundaries. That's what he was saying. He wanted to be open. People just
all the playgrounds are supposed to be fenced in,
right?
And for whatever reason, it's not been done here.
Okay.
And so there was objection when they did their repainting of the playground a couple of years ago that they didn't want. A lot of people on the block did not want a fence. I disagree. I think it's a safety issue, especially when people are driving their cars on the sidewalks to get to and fro. the to and from the parking lot.
So that should be included in the letter. That should be
Yes.
included in the letter that explain why you want the fence enclosed. One of the reasons why you want the
Yeah.
safety of the children, and also the cars are running across the thing. Now they need to get one of those what do you call those things that blocks the cars from coming through a certain area. You see it in the city all the time.
Bollard.
Yeah, that's what they call them, baller. Yes,
Bollard.
they need those.
Yeah.
Things.
Yes. So that's another thing that we need to. That's one of the things that we can suggest that we can install, so that just it won't it keep the cars from driving in those areas. I know that area very well because my babysitter, Miss Martin, used to live on that block, and she took care of both of my children. And I've been there for years. And my oldest daughter is almost 30. She's 36 years old. So I know that block like the back of my hand. So I know it's been going on for a long time, with certain things in that block.
Yes.
Okay. Because of the cars driving to parking on the block, we feel it's important, possibly yes, right? It's important that the playground be enclosed for the safety of the children. Yeah. Okay, great. All right.
All right.
We have noticed that the policy is specifically an underhill playground and what is it? Oh, you moved it.
Yeah, I was thinking that you were done.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. At the Underhill playground on Underhill between Prospect Place and Prospect Park. Oh, so you're saying that they have they're fenced around. They have their playground fenced, but
And they
but
only
it's
allow adults in if they're accompanying children.
right.
So, all the other adults unaccompanying children cannot just go and hang out in the park.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you
That's
had
for a playground within a larger park, right? I don't know that this space is just a playground for kids. Maybe this is the intention of the block association to turn it into that, but clearly that's not the layout of what this space is for. So if you're trying to make it just a playground for kids, then that's what you have to say, because what you're talking about is excluding single adults.
I'm thinking of Brower Park, right, where they have the enclosed play area in the
It's
middle of
for the
Brower.
playground, yes.
Right. So
But
Mhm.
we
there's
could
plenty of
enclose.
adults sitting around in benches all around the park, right?
Right. Right. No, I'm just saying we could enclose the playground area.
Right.
But
Yes, that's what I, and that's why I
yeah.
liked Ms. Mahoney's comment, which was separate the adult seating area and enclose the playground.
All right.
But what I'm hearing again is exclude the adults.
No, I'm not saying that. I was saying that we cut down because I'm
I'm not
thinking
saying you're saying it, Miss Andrews.
no, well, I'm saying for myself, okay, for myself, okay, that there should be maybe a little more area for the playground, and then push some of the take a few of the tables off, and then still have the tables and have that playground area enclosed, okay, so that the adults, the parents can have a seating area in the playground area if you're going to enclose it, okay,
You
so
know, I think I go back to the idea is the Brow Park and Underhill Park. Those always were parks designed by the city.
uh-huh,
This is a block. It's one block. It's a super block, and there
uh-huh,
were certain things and purposes of that. And even as far as the residents of that block being able to park in within that block. So to change all of that, you got to go beyond what the block association would like to what was the original purpose of a super block, and it's just one block. It's not acres. It's not a lot of space.
right. Right. But you have to go with the times of what's going on. We're trying to, have the children come and play because they're not playing out there because they are discouraged, because they are afraid. They have their kids out there. So what do you do about that? So yes, the adults they have their part, but what about the children? Okay, the children are not using the equipment, so that's the problem. That's the problem from back in the days. Back in the days, the children was using the park, and there was a lot of things going on, and they were okay. But these days now it's different, so we have to address whatever's going on right now. And then sometimes, yes, things have to change because of what is going on in the economy right now. So um, we have to find out. I don't know the whole history. I have to do my homework. So let's do our homework about who's in control of this park, whether the federal have anything to do with it. What is the role of the parks with this? What are they going to have somebody come and maintain it? At least clean the park, start cleaning the park better. We got to get some things going. Um, let's see the next section. Greg, the other section. Everybody agree on the other part that we had already?
I'm okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So below are some comments from the Block Association President Jerry Buchanan. We understand that some park employees are now managing multiple districts. As a result, smaller sites are not being maintained consistently. The other factor is that this playground is not fenced and therefore not locked at night. Approximately 5 years ago, it was a mobile site, and staff from Broward Park would come by daily to clean and take the garbage bags away. Okay, we were just discussing that. All right, so all right, so I think that's good. Anybody have any comments on that part? Okay. So my neighbors, and then we have a indention here. It said, my neighbors and I would like to see St. Mark's Playground as a green space specifically dedicated to children. Its primary use, almost 20 hours a day, is for adults who use it as a lounge to party, alcohol, gambling, and weed smoking. 60% of the space is dedicated to seating with chess tables. I truly believe that families would appreciate and use a playground designated specifically for the health, well-being, and safety of children, not adults. Okay. Now, this is where I think Margaret's going to have a problem with this. Because it said for children, not adults. So you want to keep it that way, you guys? Nobody have nothing. Okay. Now, Jerry, there's one. Okay. Before you say something, Mr. East,
Can I make a suggestion?
go ahead. Go ahead.
What about specific hours for dedicated to kids or youth then? Because since it's open 20, you said 20, it's utilized 20 hours per day during the summer?
No, it's not. The park's supposed to close at dusk. At dusk, the
Yeah,
park is supposed to close, but that doesn't
right.
close because it doesn't have a fence to close it. Okay,
Don't close
so
at dusk because people are going to come in and use it whether there's a fence or not, right? I don't think that's the issue. If we're talking about people in the
It is.
community,
I'm sorry. It is an issue because at
yes,
9 o'clock, parks are supposed to be closed.
yes.
yes, and if there's
And
no
it
enforcement
has,
of that, that's what we're talking about, enforcement of the park closing.
But if
Then
we have it
right.
enclosed, if we have it fenced in, then if they break in, then that's going to be on them to be responsible for breaking
Right.
in and setting in the area if it's a enclosed fence. So that's another way to keep some of that encouragement of being there at night. Um, but there's one thing I was just thinking about, and I think Michelle always tell us this, Jerry, when you're talking about the people in the neighborhood believe this. What you need to do is get proposal, get a proposal up and get people to sign a petition. That. Thank you, honey. A petition to say this is what the neighborhood want. Now you need to go, and I can't remember how many signatures you need, but this is something that needs to be supported with the letter. So if you can draw up a petition to say this is what the park wants, and then get your neighbors to, sign up for it, sign up. And if you get at least, like maybe 50 to 100, I don't know how many people will sign it, but get a sufficient amount of people to sign it in that block, then this will be something to say the neighbors is really believing this is what they want. It's not by one person.
I thought I heard Miss. I thought I.
Oh, they can hear me.
I thought
Yeah.
I heard Ms. Buchanan say she had asked people about, fencing off the area so cars couldn't drive through, and the community didn't want it. Did I hear that just like 10 minutes ago?
No,
No,
I
she
didn't
didn't say
ask
that.
them to fence it off so that cars could go through.
What was that comment in reference to then?
They didn't want the fence around the area. That's what you heard, not the
Oh,
cars.
okay.
All right. So you do need to get something written up and then get some neighbors to sign it. I know this is one of the things that Michelle is probably going to suggest to us. So if you can, start working on that.
I think it's called a petition.
Yes, petition. That's what I say. Petition. So
Yes.
So a petition, and then it lists the things on that we have in this letter that you have in, that you sent us, and list all these are the things that we want. Okay. So if you can get a certain amount of people in your neighborhood to sign it, and we'll send this along with the letter, that will be even a much better
More effective,
presentation. Yes, more effective.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. So they say, please let us know if you need additional information in community, and then we have the names of the people. So do you think this is enough? This is what we need to add anything? I think we added a couple of things already.
Yes.
We had the enclosing of the playground or play
Right.
area.
Right.
And we added the assign more park staff.
Okay. So Greg, I think at the end say please attach is enclose is petition is copies of petitions of the neighborhood signing, agreeing to this petition. So we'll put it in there, but just put it in there somehow to say that this is going to be enclosed also, the petition. Okay. And we're going to enclose the pictures, right?
It's just going to be sent via email. Mail.
We can. We need to find the emails. It's best to email them.
Yeah, because I can attach the photos easily.
Yeah, photos.
Dorothy.
Yes.
I just want to say I just looked it up, and it's actually on the parks website that in February 2001, Parks announced that it would accept full jurisdiction of the site at the time of its next renovation. Future plans for the park include 2 rows of cherry trees to be placed at each end of the block, a 10-foot wide concrete sidewalk, and a planting bed where children can learn to maintain a garden. Council member Annette Robinson and Brooklyn Borough President Howard Golden have pledged $1 million to reconstruct the site.
So where's the money?
Did that happen?
Exactly. No, it did not. The last,
All right,
it
so
didn't happen at all.
Well, I guess they owe
Is that
some
the
money.
original plan? Was that the original plan when they first did it, or that's something to upgrade it?
That's got to be an
That
upgrade.
was, I mean, it was upgraded because I
Yeah,
think once they turned it into the super block in the 60s, people had to give up some of their sidewalk, their frontage, to the parks department so that they could have the sidewalk expanded to the park.
Wow. So we need to find out that. So you found that on the Parks Department site, Marva?
Yes. In
Okay, I'm gonna go.
1978, the Department of Transportation committed to building a new traffic-free super block on the site, closed the street to all traffic but emergency vehicles, and began redesigning the site. During construction, which began with turning the street's central bed into a mini park, neighborhood residents feared the completed site might not adequately be maintained in the future. After
Sound like
years of discussion,
that's not an original plan. Yeah.
the community of Crown Heights and the DOT approached Parks with their concerns about this small patch of DOT-owned land. In 1994, Parks agreed to help maintain the site's fountain, wading pool, play area, and benches. And then in 2001 was when the $1 million was pledged. But I don't know if anything happened after, because you said 2003 is when the reconstruction happened. So since then, there's
That's
probably been
the
nothing.
that's the original plan. I remember when they were doing that super block. I'm telling you, it was around that time. So that's the original plan when they did it originally the way it looks now. That's what I'm saying. So
Right.
that's not additional money that they have for now. That's already been spent. Okay. So we have to go and
Yes.
ask for more capital fund now.
Right, from Brooklyn Borough President and
Yeah.
council member. And Annette Robinson was Chi Osei's position, District 36, right?
Yeah, I remember Annette Robinson.
Yeah,
And she became the
Mhm.
assembly subsequently.
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Right.
And so we need
It's not federal anymore. That's the whole point of that. It's just,
not federal. Okay.
yeah.
That's good to know.
So
Okay.
here's a suggestion. It's going to take probably weeks to get the petition, perhaps. I don't know. Do we want to withhold this letter for weeks until the petition's done, or do we want to say allude to a forthcoming position?
Well, you can say it that way, but we need to let them know that petition will be coming.
What about the
So
Black
So we
Association?
canvassing neighborhoods to get petitions.
Is,
to have
is there a
petitions.
Black Association?
what about Jerry?
Is there a Black Association?
Jerry. Jerry is the
No,
Black Association.
There really
Yes,
is
that-
not a block association.
But
Miss D, but I have been, along with my neighbors, very proactive since 2011 to
okay.
make improvements on the block and advocate for things like FIOS and whatever housing that we can do. So not in a formal capacity, but just as a concerned resident, I have done different things to try to make the quality of life a little bit better here.
Okay. All right. So so we're gonna say that the petition will be forthcoming. I see that Greg is writing that. So we will.
Yeah.
Okay, so that will be they'll know that it's forthcoming, so they can start working on it. Some of the stuff they may start, trying to resolve. So,
Okay.
all right. So, are we going to request a meeting in the near future to further discuss this with Marty and somebody from the city council office?
Yes,
There
I
should
think
be a meeting.
Yes.
yeah,
So
and especially because participatory budgeting is the process has begun.
yes.
I think it's important that we continue with the momentum of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
they
what-
said
that's
that they
what-
talked about that at the last meeting, the general meeting, about the participatory funds. The thing is starting, and you have a certain time to put your information in. So, so what do we want? We're agreeing on this now, and we got at the end another thing, Greg. We're going to say we are requesting a meeting to further discuss these issues.
Now you want to
Requesting a meeting with the stakeholders.
Yes, we are requesting a meeting with the stakeholders. That's a good. Thank you, Swati. That's a good way to say it. These issues, these ch, yeah, instead of this, yeah. Okay. So now we're gonna send it to the community board office. So we're going to clean this up a little bit. We got to put the right people that's going to be on this list. We're going to send this to Martin Marr. We're going to CC Ozzy Chi and what's
But
this, the borough president.
yeah, but as I said, I think we should separate the ones that need budgeting versus operations. I think anything pertaining to budget, Marty cannot do anything. It's the people in the city council or the borough president or so.
No, we usually ask them to please do this for us, and then the response is that contact your city council. So we still have to, we still throw it at them, let them see what they. And sometimes you're not
Extra
necessarily
funding
so
from
all the
different,
time, not necessarily so all the time, Mr. East, because the parks do capital projects too. They'll like for St. John, they did a lot of capital projects
Yeah,
that
but
came
the
from the park.
funding, I'm talking about the funding aspect of those capital projects. The
Mhm.
park doesn't provide the funds. It's the city council does that.
Yes,
it's
you're
not
right.
always the council,
The
city
city
park
council
staff.
does,
Hello?
the
Also,
city council does the
I hear too many.
appropriation.
I'm hearing a whole lot of things here. Okay. Well, we're going to
The,
have
the,
everybody on the list that's going to see it. So the city council is
yeah,
going to
yes.
address their part, and Marty will address his part. Okay. I don't want to have two separate letters. Let's just put it all
All right.
together here,
Okay. Okay.
and then each
yeah.
person will address their own. Okay. So
All
that's why
right.
we're going to have Ozzy, and we're going to have the borough president. What is his name? I can't remember his name. It's
Antonio Reynoso.
Antonio. That's right, Antonio.
No,
Okay. So we're going to have all those stakeholders on
Well,
that
I
on
got,
that list.
who else do you have? What's Ozzy's title?
He's the city council for it's the 36th district.
Oh, Ose, you mean Ose. Oh, you
Oh
mean
yeah,
Chi
Jose.
Ose. I think Ozzy is.
Chi Ose.
T
Yeah,
Jose.
I got it.
Okay.
So I got Mealy Hudson,
Okay, and then we're gonna send
Reynoso.
I'm gonna find out who is over the parks, the commissioner for all the parks. We're gonna CC him or
No, I
her,
may have
whoever
a
it is.
deputy at the moment.
That's
That's
Kavanaugh.
that's
I think that's
that's
Kavanaugh.
Kavanaugh.
So we're going to put
That's
up,
Kavanaugh. I worked with his wife at finance. He's still he's been there a long time. So we'll put
any,
Kavanaugh. We'll put we'll get the list together. Greg, let's just have a side meeting and just make sure we have all
right,
the
right. I'm
names.
just going to put
Okay.
in here.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um,
Kavanaugh was appointed acting commissioner since 2002.
who's out? What?
That's what it says on the parks website.
There's
Liam
not. It's not
Kavanaugh,
updated. It's not updated because
acting
not,
commissioner.
Silver's been
not,
Silver's
That's
been
not
commissioner.
updated. I
Silver
don't think
just
that's
left.
updated.
That's not updated.
Before him, it was
Yeah.
Stern.
That's not
Henry
updated.
Stern was.
No, it's not updated. Hmm. He
Okay,
was there before Silver came in when they were looking for somebody.
right.
Hmm. But they never changed it. Hmm. Okay.
All right.
So
So
I think we got pretty good of and what is our
Okay.
target date? What is our target time we want to send it out? By Monday or Tuesday or something like that? We get them next week?
Well, we have our
I think
meeting on Tuesday, right? So let's send
On
it out
Tuesday.
maybe Monday so that hopefully somebody will respond by Tuesday. We can discuss what next steps could be.
hopefully, yeah.
Okay. So we'll finalize this. Greg and I will have a little sidebar meeting just to make sure everything is, everything is on
Okay.
it. Then we're going to send it to the community board office. The community board office will send it out for us. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I think that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for
All right. So we see
attending
you on
this
Tuesday.
meeting. Okay. And I'll see you
We
guys
see you
on
on
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
All right.
Okay.
Thank
You
you.
take care. Hi,
Later,
everybody.
boss.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Mhm.